Hey, first grade Miss Mitchell here. It is time for day 2 of word building. And before we start, we are going to do another student shout out. So I wanted to shout out Miss Zaria. I miss seeing her face in school every day. So I wanted to shout her out and shout out how awesome of a job she's been doing and how much growth she's showing this year. So just wanted to show her pretty little face because we miss her so much. All right, so Miss Zaria. When we are looking at her word building, I want you to take a look over here. And this was from early April. So this was like maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago. And if you see, she wrote her name nice and neat. She always has been a really nice and neat writer. But remember, we can always improve and always get better. So just want to point out she did a very nice job with her rainbow right on this side. She keeps all of her letters in, all of her lowercase letters stay in between the bottom and the middle line. And her long letters are long. And then she has her tall letters are tall. And then she even remembered for almost every single word that was a name to capitalize it. So she capitalized Rick. She capitalized Nick. Now she missed one, but that's okay because everyone makes mistakes and it's a-okay. And then if you look over at her writing, she does do everything for swag. She starts with a capital letter. She has everything written really nice and neatly, a space in between each word, a really nice space in between each word. And then she ends and she is giving her punctuation and she has a question mark for both of her sentences. This looks really nice and neat. If you look over at her next page, and this was from a couple weeks ago, you can see how much better her handwriting has gotten. Was it bad over here? No, it was really nice over here too. But man, you can even see that tiny little practice or that tiny little bit that she's improved, but she's still improving. So next year, I know her handwriting is going to be even better because she's been working hard. She takes her time and she always writes nice and neat. But man, you can see how nice and neatly she wrote on this side. So awesome job, Ms. Zaria. We miss you tons. And I also want to shout her out because she comes in on my Zoom meetings and she reads to me. And I love it, every second of it. So I know that her reading's even getting better. All right, friends. So what we are going to do is we are going to start our word building. And today, now yesterday, or on Monday, not yesterday, we were doing long I, and our words were like find, wind, and mind. Now today we're going to be doing long I again, but our 3 letters are I, L, and D, and they say isled. So it's the long I, isled. So we had eind, and today we're doing isled. All right, so I'm going to get our computer screen ready, and we are going to start our rainbow right. For our word building. Now, just like yesterday, we only have 6 words. Before we get started, we have our upside down I, L, D. We need to get our letter tiles ready. I, L, D, C, H, W, and M. So you can pause me right here and get out those letters. So we have C, H, I, L, D, W, M. So those are your words. And I also have my, my Rainbow Write paper. So I'm going to pull these letters over here because this is our first word. And I picked these 3 colors today because we are in springtime and these remind me of the spring because we have a bright blue sky every day. We have nice green grass because it's been raining. And then I have pink because I like to see the pink, beautiful flowers. So I have my spring colors today, blue, green, and pink. So we only have 6 words again today. So I did 3 colors. I'm going to do each color twice. So 3 and 3 makes 6. All right, so my first word is C-H-I-L-D. C-H-I-L-D. D. And I'm really going to try and write like Miss Zaria today because she is a fantastic writer. So I did 3 tall letters, 2 short, small letters, and then remember that period or that dot on the I is above your middle line. All right, so remember, this is our first word, and we always like to sound those ones out together. So we all know that CH says what sound? Cha. So we have cha, and then I said ILD says ild. Ild, ild, ild. All right, so let's sound this one out together. Ready, go. Ch, ild, child, child. You are your parents' child. All right, now let's move on to the next word. So we're going to get rid of the ch sound, and we're going to bring down an M. So I'm going to get my next color. So I use blue for my sky. I'm going to use that green for my grass and our trees, MILD. Make sure that L and that D are just as tall as one another. All right, now this one you should do on your own because we did the first one together. So I know Shania watching, she's one of my best readers. I know Mr. Reginald's been working hard, and I know Owen's really been trying hard too with his reading. So let's go ahead and sound this out. You do it on your own first, and then we do it together. Ready, go. All right, let's do it together this time. Ready, go. Mild, mild, mild. The weather in the springtime is pretty mild. All right, let's get rid of that M and let's bring down the word, the letter W. I almost said word W. W is not a word, it's a letter. Crazy lady. All right, so W, I, L, D. And guess what, friends? We're already halfway done. It's going to be quick, quick, quick. All right, I'm going to have you sound it out, and then we'll do it together. Ready, go. Do it with me this time. Ready, go. Wild, wild, wild. I know that some of you can get pretty wild. All right, so let's get rid of that W. Okay, now we're going to repeat a word that we've already done together. And it's in the same color. For those of you who are doing 3 colors like me, it is the same color as the first one. All right, let's go ahead and sound this word out. You do it on your own. Ready, go. Do it with me this time. Ready, go. Child, child, child. Nice job. All right, let's get rid of that CH. Bring down that W again. Doing this in my green grass. W, I, L, D. Oh, I almost said the word. Goodness gracious, Miss Mitchell. Get it together, lady. All right, I know my Ari and Makai and Miss Rhea Best. I know that you guys are going to know this one because we already did it once, so you should know it this time. Ready, go. Do it with me this time. Ready, go. Wild, wild. And remember, you can also, if you want to just smush this all together, which this is when you're showing me that you're ready for 2nd grade, is when you say wild, wild. You can say it like that too. I've been doing each sound just to give us another reminder. Wild, wild. If you'd like to do it that way, that's fine. Or if you would like to do wild, wild, that's cool too. All right, last word. And like I said, we've already done this word. We did the same 3 words twice. So I did the same 3 colors twice. But I did mix up the last 2 colors for my words. All right, go ahead and sound this one out. All on your own. Ready, go. Do it with me this time. Ready, go. Mild, mild. Let's do it the easier way, the 2nd grade way. Ready, go. Mild, mild. Nice job. Mild is my favorite flavor of chicken wings. I love mild chicken wings. They're yummy. All right, so you can push your words over here. Push your words to the side so you can reference them or look at them. for when you're doing your writing. Now we have 2 sentences today. On Monday, we only had 1, but today we're going to have 2. So I'm going to write my number 1, which actually, now that I'm looking at my paper, I hope I can fit all of this in here. All right, so our first sentence is, what would you do with a wild child? Woo, I'm sure your parents have probably asked themselves this question. All right, so what? Let's remember our swag. Let me bring over our paper just to remind us what swag means. Starts with a capital letter, written neatly, a space in between each word, and given punctuation at the end. Swag. And like I said, my friends have been writing that on their papers just to remind themselves, so you can always write it somewhere if you would like. All right, so our first word is what? We need to start with our capital letter. W, H, A, T. What would, finger space, W, O, U, L, D. What would you do, finger space, Y, O, U, finger space, do, D, O. What would you do with a wild child? Do we have any of our, have we had any of our ILD words yet? Nope. Moving on. What would you do with? W, I, T, whoops, H. What would you do with a wild? Wild, I have it here in green and pink. Wild. W, I, L, D. Oh, that D doesn't look too great. What would you do with a wild child? Oh, child's there. Both of those ones are in blue. C, H, I, L, D. What would you do with a wild child? And this is a question, so we need a question mark. What would you do with a wild child? All right, let's read this all together. Ready, go. What would you do with a wild child? What would you do with a wild child? I'd probably put them in timeout. I know my nephews get wild sometimes and silly and goofy and crazy and cuckoo. I tell them they're always kookamukas. That's what my mom always said to me when I was little. You're being a kookamuka. All right, our next sentence is, what would you do with a mild child? Oh, I like what Mr. Beck did with these sentences today. All right, so same thing. We're going to write this whole thing again. What would you do with a, this is all going to be repeated, so it should look exactly the same. Capital W, nice finger spaces, and everything should be really nice and neat. Except for I'm going to work on that D this time. All right, so what? Capital W, H, A, T, and you can reference or look back to your first sentence. What? Finger space. Would, W-O-U-L-D. What would you, Y-O-U, finger space, do, D-O. What would you do? What would you do? Okay, go down to the next section, the next line, with. What would you do with a, finger space, A. So look, same. What would you do with a? Now, instead of doing wild, we're doing mild. So we have mild in green and mild in pink. So M, I, L, D. What would you do with a mild? And then the next word is child, so this is the same again. C, H-I-L-D. And yet again, we're asking a question. What would you do with a wild child? What would you do with a mild child? Sounds like a nursery rhyme, so we need another question mark. All right, let's read this one all together. Ready, go. What would you do with a mild child? Now, mild means that someone isn't too crazy or wild or silly. They're just like a normal, just chilled out kid. So, a wild child, like I said, I might put you in timeout if you're being too crazy. But a mild child, maybe we could do something nice and calm together. A mild child. All right. So you guys did such a fantastic job, as always. So I just want you to remember that you need to be working hard like you have been this whole time. And I want you to practice writing your sentences. I want you to practice writing sentences every day over the summer, because remember, I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but I've heard it many times. If you don't use it, you lose it. So over the summer, if you don't write or read, you might not be a great reader or great writer by the time you come back to school. So keep up the reading, keep up the writing, and maybe you and your parents or whoever you live with, you guys can challenge each other. Maybe you can have a spelling off, or you can have a writing off, or maybe what you could do is you could challenge your parents to write sentences and you be the teacher and you check to make sure that they are using their swag. That's what I think you should try. Challenge your parents to see if they will do their swag. All right, first grade, it was great seeing you as always. I miss you tons, and I hope to see you soon. Have a great rest of your day, first grade.